right, so we are live right now. Okay, cool. So what's up, everybody? I'm with Shayla Terkalas. Hopefully I'm not butchering the name. That's how you say your last name, right?
Yeah, you said it right. That's awesome.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, just making sure. So I remember when I first downloaded TikTok, you were one of the first profiles that I wanted to really follow because of your advice and what the value you gave. And so just to give everyone some context, like this, please like introduce yourself and like what do you do?
So, hi everyone. My name is Shayla Terkalas. So, I study social media and marketing, and I've been on TikTok since it was Musically. But I recently, at the end of April, I started a TikTok account called How to Grow on TikTok, and I provide people with tips, tricks, and advice to helping them grow their accounts. I do general advice, which can, anyone can kind of like grab it and try to apply it to themselves. And I also do consultations where I work one-on-one with clients to help them reach their personal goals.
So you first had Musically and then it went into TikTok? Like, was it like
Yes.
an update?
Well, I had Musically like years ago in 2015, and I kind of just made random videos, and I actually deleted the app. Um, I downloaded TikTok because everyone was talking about it. And when I downloaded TikTok, it automatically logged me into my Musically account. And all the videos I put on Musically had been on TikTok for years, like ever since TikTok started.
So you were like, you had like the first mover advantage, like you were there from the start, right? And like I kept hearing people saying, oh, like TikTok is a big thing. And like me personally, like when I first like had it, I'm like an extreme introvert to be honest, right? And I know like TikTok is all about showing your face. And so for the first time, like the first couple of videos, I was just like filming things and not my face. I was like really, really shy. But I think like you really have to get out of that shell and like really show your face to get like more awareness. Like what were like your very first videos on TikTok or Musically?
My very first videos were of me, and I wasn't very comfortable like speaking right away. So I kind of had music playing, like trending sounds, and I was just pointing to random places in the air and put my advice that way. And then I realized that people connect better when they can actually hear what you're saying, and it's easier to do talking videos. So I decided to do more talking videos, and I just started really easy, like, what are some niche ideas to do? And then I realized that people didn't even know what a niche was. So I had
Mm-hmm.
to simplify even more. And I think that's one of the main things I've been doing with my account is I realize not everybody knows what I know. So anytime I make a video, I get tons of questions. And then I have to make videos that are more simplified.
So when did you first change or have like, did you always have the, like your name, How to Grow on TikTok? Was that your first name on TikTok or did you gradually move into it once you acquired that knowledge on how to like really get more awareness for your brand?
Well, I had my personal account, and on that account, I just posted really random things, and I had my name Shayla Terkalas. But my name, first of all, it's kind of hard to like spell and pronounce. And if you look at it on social media, you'll see Shayla Terkalas. It looks like
Mm-hmm.
Shay later Kalaz. And I was like, no one can remember that. Like, no one knows how to spell that. They don't even know what it means. People wouldn't even know my name was Shayla, all that stuff. And I really ran out of random video ideas. I didn't really want to just do random nonsense. And my account was growing. So I started my personal account, like really using my personal account in the beginning of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And I was doing random videos, and my account was growing so fast because I do have that background in social media and marketing. And a lot of my friends and family members were asking me, like, how are you growing your account? How are you doing that? And what I would do is I would spend like hours talking to people that I know about TikTok, and they'd be like, I don't care about this. So I switched over to my How to Grow on TikTok account, and I made it super simple, just the main message of my account, How to Grow on TikTok. And I think that's a better strategy than using my personal name just because it's harder for people to remember.
Mm-hmm. So even before you had How to Grow on TikTok, people were asking you like, how do you grow an audience on TikTok, right?
Yeah, like I had friends and family members that were curious about it because there was one girl, I'm not going to say her name, but there was one girl, and she'd been on it for a really long time, and she had about 5,000 followers. And then here I was hopping on it right away and skyrocketed to 13,000 in like a month and a half, which isn't a lot to most people, but it's a lot to people who, you know, have been on the platform for a long time and are trying to grow their following.
Yeah, definitely. Like when I first saw TikTok, I was like, oh man, I gotta like say something that's informative while dancing. And I was like, okay, I'm not comfortable with dancing at all. But I think after I consumed more content, I saw a lot of people, including yourself, just like spitting facts, you know, just talking about like basically infotainment, saying things that are like information, but in an informative and fun way, right? And I think that really attracts people, you know. And what TikTok is like, I think what's really cool about it is like YouTube is really, really cool, but it's more long form. Whereas just like TikTok is just so condensed, and that's why I think it really just like hits well with people.
And yeah, and I think too, I actually made a video a while back on my account. I think it was at the beginning of June. I made a video briefly talking about how I think TikTok is going to be moving into an educational based platform. Not that there won't still be the entertainment factors, but I said I really think there's going to be more education. And I didn't really get a chance to go like in depth because I like to keep my videos as short as possible. But
Mm-hmm.
my opinion, like my theory behind that was YouTube started very entertainment random videos, and then now you can go on YouTube and learn pretty much anything.
Yeah.
And because people, TikTok has over 800 million users. Well, now it's a bit complicated because over 400 million of those were from India and TikTok's banned there. But there's millions and millions of people on the platform, and they're spending all their time on the platform. So people who would be researching and looking up certain topics on YouTube, they still have those interests. They're just spending their time on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, like 2 weeks after I made that video, the hashtag learn on TikTok started trending. And now it has billions and billions of views. So more people are trying to hop on, and more people are realizing like I don't have to dance to be on this
Yeah,
platform. Even
definitely.
though it started that way, it's not its only purpose.
Yeah. Like one of my biggest fears I think is like, yes, TikTok is really, really like you can get crazy organic reach, but it's also really important to basically drive that traffic onto other social media sites. So I know you have an Instagram, you have a good impressive following on your personal account, but do you have like any other social media platforms that you kind of wish to really like increase your game in or kind of increase your audience?
Yeah, so I have YouTube. I'm still diving into YouTube and kind of getting the hang of it, but I would like to convert some of my TikTok followers into YouTube subscribers as well. What
So
about you?
um definitely. I have like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, but obviously like TikTok has been like the biggest one for me and like I'm putting like all my eggs in one basket and I really shouldn't be doing that. That's why I'm trying to push like more content on LinkedIn and some on Twitter. But it's definitely a challenge, you know, because like when I see TikTok, I see crazy reach. I remember like when my very first like real social media platform was like Instagram, and like I just use it for fun. I never knew like I was back in high school like that Instagram can be used for like growing like a business or a service, right? I thought it was just for entertainment. It was only like until like now, like I'm 23 now that oh like you can actually make use of social media not just to be a consumer but to be like a producer, you know, and to use that to your advantage for your own personal brand, business, or whatever it is, right? So I think it's
Yeah.
really, really hard. Like, there's always a way, but I think that's one of like my weaknesses of just like transferring the followers on TikTok onto different platforms, right? And like, I don't know if you see my content, but like, it's kind of like all over the place. But I'm just doing that. Like, my niche is just about entrepreneurship, and I'm trying to make entrepreneurship like more vibrant and cool because a lot of people are doing that, and I think it's because like nowadays like college is so expensive. People are getting out of college and they're really like in debt, and so they kind of need to find a hustle or an alternative way to make money the way they want to. Because sometimes like I have a lot of friends and family who after college they're not happy, you know, with their job, you know. So I'm just trying to make entrepreneurship like what I want to share like what you're doing because it's really cool. Like not everyone is doing what you're doing. People do drop shipping, people do real estate, and I really like love your content because it's something different and you're providing a service on how to grow on TikTok.
And one thing that I did too, in terms of getting people like somewhere else, I created a private Facebook group, which is like solely for my TikTok. I have 460 people in it. which is a lot, but it's not a lot compared to my followers. I have
Mm-hmm.
37,000 followers, but that's still a good amount of people that I got over to Facebook. And it's a great opportunity. It's an engagement group. So I do like challenges in there. So people post their videos in there. I also have people like drop questions because I have a podcast that I'm starting to get into podcasting. So I have people ask questions on there. I've gone live in the group one time, and it's a great opportunity. Like, if something were to ever happen to TikTok, I still have those 460 people to contact and let them know if I start to do something else. Now, I don't know if you have a Facebook group, but like maybe you could create a Facebook group for like entrepreneurs and have them connect. Like, that'd be a great, cool opportunity to incorporate.
Yeah, I did create a group, but I didn't really like touch it. I don't really know how to like. Do you just ask people on TikTok like, "Hey, I got a Facebook group, come join"? Is that like literally what you did?
Yeah, so I made like two videos promoting it and I just kept reposting it. Um I did say like I was just like, "Hey everyone, like I have a Facebook group, like the link is in my bio. Go to the link in my bio and join." And I don't know the exact number, but I probably posted it like 15 to like 20 times. And all those videos are being pushed out and every day I have new people requesting to join the group.
Mm-hmm. And you also have your own service called Social Butterfly Management, right?
Yeah, so that's kind of one thing with me. I'm kind of like trying to do everything and I'm trying to like get specific, but the concept behind Social Butterfly is to help businesses with their social media. And that can be through TikTok or Instagram or really any platform that they need help with.
So like that's kind of tough because you have your own personal brand, you have how to go on TikTok, and you have Social Butterfly Management. And I remember watching one of your pieces of content on that, like the challenge of posting 10 TikTok videos a day, right? And
Yeah.
so was that for like for your personal account and for how to grow on TikTok? Well, that must be really
So
tough.
So my personal account, I like stopped using it completely. Once I started the How to Grow on TikTok account at the end of April, and I put all my energy into that, and I just stopped using my personal account. Um, just because my personal account, it doesn't really provide any value, and I think I'm
Mhm.
a believer in value, whether you're providing entertainment or education or just making people happy. And my personal account like was just random. Like, I mean, maybe it entertains some people, but on my How to Grow on TikTok account, I do try my best to post as much as I can, but obviously I have other obligations. But I did a posting challenge where I had my followers comment like how many posts I should do in one day, and the most liked comment would be the amount that I did, and the most liked comment ended up being 10. So I was like, okay, 10's reasonable.
Mhm.
I filmed all of them in under 30 minutes. I posted all 10 of them, and 3 of the 10 back to back got over 20,000 views, and one got like 50,000 views.
Damn.
And they were super, super easy videos. It was just me responding to people's comments.
Yeah, I was gonna say like it's very tough. I think like I see it's always I don't think it's good to compare like you with other people. Like I think it's like bad in general because like even if you reach 100K, a million, you always want to look at someone else's. But I think like when I see other people's content, like good content, they always have consistent number of views, like 5,000 each video. Whereas for mine, I'll have like 200, then 1,000, then 600, then randomly like 10,000. And I think that's because like uh, my content is all over the place. Like with your expertise, do you see like with TikTok, you get more engagement if your videos are more like structured or all over the place? How does
I would
that work?
My videos kind of range as well. Um, and I really like, for me, my main goal is providing value. Of course, I would love to reach more people, but for me, I don't really mind that much if one video has 1,000 and the next video has 10,000. But what I've noticed is um, my videos that are like in your face type of videos, those always perform better. And that's hard for me because that's not necessarily my personality. Like I mean, I like to just say the facts and how things are, but I like to be like very nice about it. But the videos where I'm like, stop doing this, that catches people's attention way more. Um, and I wanted to do an experiment recently. So I'm sure you saw the video where I mentioned posting 10 to 20 times a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think if I said that in my sweet, normal voice, like, hey guys, you should post like 10 to 20 times a day, that video would probably get like 1 to 3,000 views. But me being in your face, like, hey, stop posting once a day, that video now has over 300,000 views. Um, so I feel like if I did more content like that, because that's one thing I always say is like find what works for you and keep doing that because that's how you grow your account. But for me personally, like I'm not a loud in your face type of person 24/7. So
Mm-hmm.
I'd feel kind of fake if I did that in all of my videos.
Yeah, I feel you. I think like the 3 first seconds of the video is the most important. Would you agree?
Yeah, I agree 100% because people are on their phones, like they're home a lot with, social distancing. I know some places are opening back up, but if someone doesn't know why they should keep watching, they're not going to keep watching. The funniest or the best information could be at the end of the video and they won't see it if you don't kind of make it clear to them. So what I like to do in my videos, if I'm doing like um, three three things you need to have in your profile bio. I will start my video off like three things you need to do in your bio and like to put in your bio, sorry. And then I will say the three things and then at the end I'll be like follow me for more. If I just started out the video like a YouTube style video, hey guys, thank you for watching my video, people are going to be gone.
Yeah, I feel like with like going with YouTube, when you do like long form content, some people do like that. It's like you talking in front of the camera, just providing straight value. But what I realized on TikTok, like if you have like many distractions, but distractions that are like purposeful, for example, like if you have like an emoji popping out that has to do with like kind of like complements what you're saying, or like you said, if you have the audio and text, I think the text really helps out a lot. Plus adding like the images with the emojis and whatnot. Like if you have like a lot of those elements, then I really think that you can capture more attention, especially those first 3 seconds. And I kind of like caught on to that like a week ago.
Yeah.
And
Sorry, what were you going to say?
oh no, it's like, and I always like look at the effects on TikTok. Like I think I'll always use the green screen effect, and I'm always wondering like, oh, like is it true like if I overuse it, then maybe like TikTok wouldn't like that. So every once in a while, I try to incorporate something else. And I know you always say like, make sure you follow the trends or you put like a new trendy song. But I always think like, okay, I'm always doing the green screen. Maybe I had to add like another element because I think there's a lot of people who are doing very similar things or similar like visuals to what I'm doing. And everyone needs to like differentiate yourself because like you said, now TikTok has 800 million followers, but now with the ban of India, that's a lot less. So where do you think like is like the best way to really differentiate yourself with someone else?
Well, one thing in terms of the green screen, like right now, like the green screen feature, like the photo green screen and also like the video, which like you could screen record and do that feature. Both of those features are like really trending right now. So even if you feel like you're overusing them, would probably be the best time to use them. But in terms of like how to make yourself stand out, are you talking about like other people that do the same thing as you or just stand out from other people in general?
I guess stand out because I see other people like they have, on TikTok they have like 4 different fonts and whatnot. Obviously you can change the color, but I think with other apps you can like import your video and they get your own custom font. That would be like another like unique element to your video. And that's what I think more people are doing as well.
Yeah, I mean, having like a unique editing style that you're consistent with. So, like a good example, when I first started my account, anytime I mentioned like a new topic, I would use the transition effect that's like it shakes a little bit and it goes like horizontal or vertical. But I kind of stopped doing that. But I think having like stickers on your videos, having text on the screen, um, anything that catches people's attention. So in terms of like marketing strategies, the two colors that have been proven to catch people's attention are red and yellow. So if you can incorporate whether you're wearing red or yellow or you're having red or yellow text pop up on your screen, that can really kind of like catch people's attention.
Mhm.
I'm not sure exactly why. I think it's just because they're bright colors, but you'll see like McDonald's, like they're red and yellow.
Yeah.
Lots of places are red and yellow because they're the two colors that really grab people's attention.
So you mentioned that you use Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and I don't know what other ones you use, but from those four or from the other ones that you use, how do you allocate your time between one platform versus the other?
I would say right now I'm probably spending 90% of my time on TikTok because that's where I have a huge audience on there, and that's where mainly people see me and they want to be on. But I've tried to sprinkle it out. I don't know, maybe like 5% YouTube, 5% Instagram. I know I should kind of branch out on those other platforms more, but at the same time, I am aware that like, TikTok is the place to be right now. It might not be there forever. And I also got an email at 5 in the morning today saying that the US is looking into potentially banning TikTok. So
Mm-hmm.
um, not sure how that's gonna go,
Yeah.
but I got that email and I was like, I talk about cross promoting, and I'm not really doing the best job of that myself. Um, yeah.
And even with Facebook, they're creating another platform. They're testing a platform that's basically like TikTok. I forgot what it was called, but like, have you looked into that?
Yeah, so actually, it's really funny you mentioned that. So, Facebook has like a copycat version of it, and it's called Lasso. So,
Mm-hmm.
on TikTok, the following page is on your left, and the For You page is on your right. On Lasso, it's opposite. But even with Lasso, I also saw so last night, I don't know what day it is right now, but like this morning at 5 a.m. is when I got the email saying that the US is looking into potentially banning TikTok. And a day or two ago, I saw that Facebook was going to start shutting down the copycat version of TikTok, Lasso. But now I'm not sure what they're going to do with, if you know what I mean, like why, like it might
Yeah.
not be the best time for them to shut it down.
Yeah, and it's like very tough because it's so like what convinces me is that it's so popular, and not only that, but like you see a lot of celebrities, like especially Jason Derulo, who's like the face of TikTok now. But you see so many celebrities using TikTok, and you kind of think like, oh, it's gonna be like almost impossible for it, like for it to like be the transition from TikTok, like having the users from TikTok go to Lasso, because I feel that TikTok is so defined. But like you said, anything is possible, and you definitely gotta diversify your time with other platforms.
Yeah. Just to circle back, I just wanted to get the facts. I just Googled it. Yeah. So 6 days ago, Facebook announced that Lasso, which they launched a year and a half ago, that they were going to be shutting it down on July 10th. But now I don't know if they might take that back. I'm not sure. But yeah, in terms of TikTok, like more celebrities are hopping on it. I'm sure you saw one of the Kardashians was hanging out with Addison Rae.
Oh yeah,
um,
she's everywhere now too. Addison Rae.
yeah, and they were like trying to make videos together and have like matching outfits and stuff. And like Jason Derulo, he also has a lot of the famous TikTokers over at his house I'm sure trying to bring their following over to him.
Yeah, I think what he's doing is really smart because like he's an artist and he's promoting a lot of his music and he's getting like a younger generation of kids listening to his music, which like leads like to the question like, what do you think is like your ultimate goal with social butterfly management and your brand, how to grow on TikTok? Like, what's like your ultimate goal with those platforms and brands?
Yeah, so my ultimate goal with like how to grow on TikTok is really to help people with their following. So, like I said, the advice on my account is pretty general. It can still help people grow. But like I said, my consultations are where I really help people. And I had a consultation with one client. Her content is all about like making money, and she has really amazing tips. And she had 87 followers. Um, Prior to our consultation, and we had a 30-minute session, and I reviewed her whole profile in depth and really came up with strategies for her. And within 24 hours she gained 600 new followers. And then within a week, she went up from 87 all the way up to 1.3, so 1.3 thousand. And now it's been, that was the 19th of June. So now it's been three and a half weeks, and she now has 30,000 followers. So really my goal is to help other people with their accounts, whether they have a personal brand or they have a business. I just want to help people out with that. And in terms of Social Butterfly, I don't know. I realize I'm managing too many things at once, um, and that's probably not the best. But I do want to help out like businesses, probably smaller businesses versus
Mm-hmm.
like big corporations, obviously. But help out smaller businesses with their social media.
Yeah. So say like if I were a client and I were to go to you for your service, how to grow on TikTok, like what's your structure? Like, what do you do? Like, do you just reverse engineer my my what is it? My account, and then kind of like see what new ideas you can do, or you kind of have like a structure? Like, what's your game plan in terms of like growing someone's account?
Okay, so that's a great question. So when I have a scheduling tool and there's like a questionnaire on there, so people answer how many followers they currently have, what their username is, and then what they have questions about or what they want to talk about. So and that can be hard because sometimes people are like not aware what they want help with, and they're kind of just like they just want me to help them out. And other people have a clear purpose, like I'm starting a business, I want to use TikTok for my business, or I'm a DJ and I want to use it to grow my following. So some people have a very specific purpose and they know exactly what they want help with, and other people just kind of want general advice and tips. So they put that information in, and prior to our consultations, I review their profile in depth. So even though when you're scheduling it, it's only a 15 or a 30-minute session, I
Mm-hmm.
put a lot more than 15 or 30 minutes into it. I really go through their profile. I look at, the types of videos that they have, the types of hashtags that they're using, um, what their bio looks like, their profile picture, every little detail. And I come up with like ways that they could improve. And I also come up with content ideas for them going out. Um, and then in the interview, of course, I have that opportunity, or not interview, sorry, in the consultation, I have the opportunity to ask them a bit more, like, what did you mean by this? And I help people identify their goals. And I recently had a client that needed help with like figuring out her niche. So we focused a lot on how she figures out her niche. So it's very tailored to the client, but overall, I provide a lot of value in our consultations.
Definitely. So like, say if like I'm a client and they have like their own pro analytics account, which is free, right? If they
Yeah.
don't have that, like, do you have some sort of way of like really measuring how much output, or I guess the improvements, or is it just from like notifications that he or she might get from your advice?
I do advise them to switch to a pro account. It won't show their analytics on their previous videos, but it will show
Mm-hmm.
them their analytics like after they switch. And I do check in with my clients. Like they'll email me questions, they'll message me on my account. I'll go look on their account and see their growth. And it really depends. I mean, some people really take my advice and they really go in on it and they see amazing results. Um, and other people, it might take them a little bit more time to kind of get the flow of
Mm-hmm.
it.
So on average, like out of the X amount of clients who have contacted you, how much growth or like how much of an increase do they see on a regular base?
On a regular basis. Okay, so it varies. I would say the highest growth that I've seen so far, because I've only had like a decent amount of clients. The biggest growth is the client that gained 30,000, went from 87 followers to 30,000 within 3 weeks. And then there's other people that reach, they go from 1,000 to 10,000. Um, and it really ranges. It really depends on how much time and how they apply the tips that I give them.
Mm-hmm.
uh, I see the people that really apply it, they get a lot of followers and it's still growing. So for example, one client that I had a meeting with, she She had a video reach 1 million after our consultation, which is amazing. She had her first 1 million viewed video.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I bet she was like really happy. It's like all these notifications, and like she's probably so confused. But like I guess after that advice, she kind of like follows through. So like after
Oh,
that consultation, can they go back to you or like message you, like not only on the Facebook group but like your personal email to be like, hey, like any other advice or tips that I can get? Do they have that
yeah.
access?
Yeah, so I have like I do have them email me or message me if they have questions, and I'll normally answer them. I won't charge for like an extra question by any means, because sometimes they're like, okay, I started doing this, like I need a little bit more help.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and also circling back, I did have a client, like one of the clients that came out to me had 97,000 followers before a consultation, and within like a month, she went up to like I think 113,000 now, um, which is awesome.
And are most of these clients like are there for like their personal brands or is it for like just like small businesses? I know on TikTok there's like a lot of small businesses and a lot of like people buy like for example on TikTok there's so many apparel businesses or and like I feel like a lot of people love that stuff and they're really buying a lot, you know, through TikTok.
I would say a majority of the clients are like personal brand or personal based focused.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've had three. Yeah, I think I've had three, two or three that were trying to like start their own business through the platform. Um, but like I have like some examples of the clients, like people that want to become like actresses, so they're using the platform to do acting. I've also had people that are using the platform for dancing, for fashion, so various topics.
And do you think like once you have like 10,000 followers, 5,000 followers, you kind of see like that snowball effect coming in. Whereas like the first 1,000 followers is really tough, but once you have like 1,000, 5,000, they just keep on rolling in as long as you're consistent with your content.
Yeah, I think getting that first 1,000 is hard because you're still navigating the ropes, and you have like you're still getting the hang of it. I would say for me personally, once I hit 10,000, like things were picking up, and it kind of stopped around 20,000 followers for me, and like I had a slow rate of growth until recently. Um, until I hit like so from 20 to 25,000, it was really slow and spread out. Once I hit 25,000 a week and a half ago, I've been gaining, give or take 1,000 followers per day, and I'm now at 37,000 followers. 37,000, sorry, 37,000 followers. And so I think for me, the 25 mark is where it's really kicking off. And that circles back into how often I post. If I post 1 to 3 times, I'll probably gain like 300 to 500 new followers, which, to most people, that's a lot, but I have lots of content on my account. But on days that I post anywhere from 10 to 20, that's where I see a bigger result, where I gain more towards the 1,000 plus
Mm-hmm.
days.
When you post like 10 times a day, do you like post it like back to back to back or do you kind of space it evenly throughout the day?
Sorry, you kind of cut out for a second.
Oh,
What'd you
sorry.
say?
Like when you post like 10 to 20 pieces of content a day, do you post it like back to back to back or do you kind of like save it as a draft and then post it throughout the day? Like,
Yeah, so I do both. So I kind of that's one thing with my account is I use my account to test out different theories and different strategies, and that kind of circles back to what I said earlier in the terms of like I'm not necessarily worried about my view count because I'm just more
mm-hmm.
worried about providing value and seeing what works. So I vary. I post back like the one day that I posted 10 back to back to back, that's when I saw 3 videos got over 20,000 views. And the three were, I posted all of those within 2 hours, so a
Mm-hmm.
very short time. And three of them all back to back. I think those ones were posted like 10 minutes apart. All of those got over 20,000 views. Now, on other days, I've posted like them further apart, and those videos stayed average, like average views for my account. Um, but then again, things vary, right? Like I think maybe I could have provided more value in the videos that took off, but I haven't done it enough. I haven't experimented enough times to be like, this is exactly what's better,
Yeah.
you know?
There's so many variables. You can't really say, oh, like this one thing will definitely like improve like the amount of views you get, right?
I think the best thing about spacing it out is, you know, especially if you're busy, like let's say you're gonna post 2 in the morning. No, let's say you're gonna post 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and then 4 in the evening. That might be better because you can reach the people that are awake in the morning who are checking
Mm-hmm.
their phones before work or class. You know, in the afternoon, you can reach the people that are like on their lunch breaks and are relaxing. You know, in the evening, you can reach the people who are like, you know, chilling. And then if you post like super late at night, you can reach people that might see it in the morning. Um, but the thing with TikTok is like all your videos are always being pushed out to people, even videos that you posted a long time ago.
Mm-hmm. There's no real way to see like on the Pro Analytics account. You can't really see what the average age of your followers are, right? Because when I look at my comments, like I feel like the average age is like, let's say like 13 to 16 years old, but I can't really uh, find that exact metric on the Pro Analytics account, right?
Yeah, and I think that's a feature that should be added because I don't know if you have like a creator or a business account on Instagram, but on Instagram you can see like the age of your followers and like what percentage they are.
Mm-hmm.
TikTok doesn't have that, but I've done experiments as well on my account. So I've had like a blue heart and a green heart, and I've put like comment a green heart if you're 17 or younger, and comment a blue heart if you're 18 or over. And I noticed a huge majority of my audience, at least that saw that video, was 17 and under. And I
Mm-hmm.
kind of like saw that and I was like, okay, that's not my target audience
Yeah,
necessarily.
I don't
Um,
think like a 13-year-old is gonna be like, hey, I want to like improve my personal brand. Like I feel like the majority of the people that really want that are gonna be like maybe in like their 18 to like 20-year like range. Yes, if you're 12 years old, it's not bad to start a personal account, your personal brand. The sooner the better. But yeah,
yeah.
like you said, ideally you want to have someone who's a bit older.
And I think that too, like, there's kind of like a misconception, right? Like, not to say anything negative, but, you know, younger people may just like, I just want to be famous. And then older
Mm-hmm.
people are like, I want to build a brand. I want, you know, to like, you know, be an influencer, which, yeah, that kind of has the same thing, but they're more thinking of like value and results, if that makes more sense.
No, yeah, I think like when you're younger, naturally you have so many ideas, and like over time, your ideas just kind of like change. Whereas like I think when you're in your mid 20s, you kind of are more narrow. You have more tunnel vision on what you truly want. So I guess that's like a good point, you know.
And also, like, you know, you could do that on your account too. But again, it's not an accurate source of tracking your followers and your viewers by having like comment below. But usually you can kind of tell the audience, like the age of your audience, based on
Mm-hmm.
what they're commenting and what their username is. That's kind of like certain things in usernames kind of give it away on someone's age.
Yeah. Uh, Something I kind of want to touch on is like obviously I think with as many followers as you said 37,000. Of course, you get a lot of love. I'm assuming that you get some hate, some negativity on there. Like, how do you personally deal with those comments? Do you like kind of like ignore it, or do you kind of respond back to those negative comments?
I get a lot of hate, which like I knew I was gonna get some of it, but I get way more than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and one thing for me that I get a lot on my videos is like, you only have X amount of followers. How can you talk about this? And at first, it kind of irritated me, and I didn't respond, but it did bother me a little bit. And then I noticed every time I reached a new number, I'd get a new comment from a new person saying, you know, one day it's like, you only have 15,000. The next day it's like, you only have 17,000. And I'm like, I'm going to hear that forever. Like, I kind of just learned to accept that people are always going to say that particular comment. Um, but like other comments that I get that are like hate comments, like it's either like someone doesn't agree with me, or um, they're trying to like be rude about my appearance. I just try my best to ignore it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I feel like I do have to respond to kind of clear up a misconception, because sometimes, I try to keep my videos as short as I possibly can, and there's only so much information you can say in 15 seconds,
Yeah.
which I found really challenging for an advice account, that there's only so much I can say in 15 seconds and so many people have questions. And even if I make a series going more in depth, people don't watch it. So I really try my best to just kind of tune it out. I want to be professional at the end of the day on my platforms. Um, and if someone, doesn't want to grow their account, or they don't want to listen, they don't want to choose me to listen to, they don't have to listen to me. I've kind of just
Mm-hmm.
accepted that, if that makes sense.
So when you go on TikTok, are you more focused on creating as much content, or do you kind of like focus on at least responding back to the hundreds of comments that you get for your videos?
When I first started, I had enough comments that I could respond to all of them, and I only when I say respond to all comments, I mean respond to all the nice ones. So when I first started, I like responded to every single comment that I could, and now because I'm posting several times a day, it does get like really overwhelming and time consuming to respond to every single question. So I've taken a step back from replying to every comment and every question that I get. I still try to reply to like the majority. Like maybe I post a video and I spend the first 10 to 20 minutes replying to those comments instead of every single comment that I get.
Mm-hmm.
um and then like sometimes I'll get questions and someone will ask me something, and they're like, what did you mean by this? And then I do have another video where I explain it more in depth. So I will take the time out of my day to go to their profile, click on their username, copy the username, go back to my profile, scan through my profile, and tag them in it. So
Mm-hmm.
if you go through some of my videos and you see that I just tagged 50 people, it's because they've asked about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you always aim for 15 seconds? Are those like all your videos or most of them?
I try my best to aim for 15 seconds because that's the best. Watch time is super important, and you want to keep people watching your video. But sometimes there's a topic I just have to say more about it. But those videos almost always never perform that well. I mean, sometimes they do, but most of the time they don't. So my goal is trying to keep it in 15 seconds. And like I said, with giving advice, that's like very challenging. And that's where simplifying comes down. I'm like, I really, really have to simplify every specific thing that I try to say.
Mm-hmm. So I'm no social media expert whatsoever, but I know for a fact that like each platform has a day where like the organic reach just goes down because there's a lot of paid traffic. For example, Facebook and Instagram, you see a lot of businesses having sponsored ads and whatnot, right? Or TikTok is not there yet, but when do you think that's going to happen, or how much time do we have for that organic reach that we can really take advantage of the organic reach we have right now?
Well, that's great that you mentioned that, because recently I've noticed that roughly, give or take, every 10 videos seems to be an ad. Where previously, I think like before I didn't really notice it. It'd probably be like once every 30 videos. But within the past few weeks, I've noticed once every 10 videos is an ad. And I've even seen several ads for ad space. So like
Mm-hmm.
TikTok is open for business. I've seen that ad several times. I think we still have a decent amount of time. I can't like predict the future necessarily, but I would say maybe like a few more, maybe a few more months, maybe like anywhere from 3 months until the end of 2020. I would estimate is how long organic reach is still going to be a thing. But um, I think there's still the ability for brands and companies to create TikTok videos and like not pay for ad space. Like you can still make a
Mm-hmm.
TikTok ad, make it super amazing, make it trending content, and it could go viral, but you didn't pay for that space.
Yeah, I get it.
Like I don't know if Coca-Cola's on TikTok. Maybe I should look that up, but I could see Coca-Cola doing something awesome and not paying for it and it performing well.
Yeah, sometimes I look at like businesses for fun to see if they're on TikTok, and I'm like, man, like I think these brands will definitely kill it. So, for example, like when I first got TikTok, there's this one. It was the Chicago Bulls. They have the mascot, the bull, right? And he was doing all these crazy dances, and I was like, damn, like a lot of businesses have their own mascot, right? So if they had that on TikTok, like I'm pretty sure they'll get like at least 1 million like followers, right? And it's really cool. But I guess these brands, like these corporations, are really slow to like follow. And that's usually how it is, right? And
Yeah,
so
I think people are realizing more now that TikTok's the place to be, but there's a lot of people that are kind of like behind the times and they're thinking, no, I shouldn't be there. But I really think it's a great place to be on for brands and businesses.
yeah, like people say it's like, oh, it's for kids, but like you see a lot of people, like lawyers, doctors, like literally everyone's on it, and it's becoming more informative and less dance, you know. So that's a good thing for anyone who really wants to go back on TikTok. And I think, like you said, there's still that window where you can get a lot of organic reach because, like, I remember like in November, like you said, in early January, that's when like a lot of people start to go on it and get like crazy amount of like views. And I think like I may be mistaken here, but I feel like if you make like quote unquote like a dumb video that goes viral, I think you don't really see that as often. So that's probably a good indication of like the organic reach is slightly going down now.
Yeah. Um, I think I think it's like slightly going down, but I also think with like social distancing and people being home, more people are joining the platform. So
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to use the word competitive, but it does become a bit more competitive. Like you do have to be eye catchy and kind of out there and really bring people in. And I think that's kind of circling back to the length of the videos. Like people already have a short attention span. So, you know, the shorter the video, the faster you can increase the watch time and the more opportunity you have.
Definitely. So looping back to like your podcast, is that something that you really want to like push forward and have more people on there to talk about TikTok and social media? Like, what's your like? Is your podcast more of like you talking, or do you like to have guests, or do you want to find guests to talk about social media in general?
Right now, it's mainly me. I'm still kind of learning the ropes of like recording it, editing it, getting it out there. But I have had like a few people that have like reached out to me or that I've thought that I would want to bring on. And I kind of realized too, I feel like it's easier to, you know, have a conversation with someone versus just kind of be sitting there talking about
Mm-hmm.
it. So I think I would want to branch out and include people on my podcast as well.
Yeah,
I, I'm on yours right now, but maybe
yeah.
you'll want to join mine.
Yeah, it's not to say like because I was like in the beginning, maybe I wasn't too aggressive with it. Like finding people on for the podcast can be a little challenging. All you have to do is like DM a lot of people, but I was contemplating because for a good while I couldn't find anyone, and I was like, okay, should I like just talk by myself and like talk about the things that I like, and then still have people try to come in if they accept the podcast or not. But I think like if you find like that one person, like so for example, I have my brother with me and he likes to invest in the stock market. So he's like my go-to person. He's like every week we'll talk about something. So maybe if you have like that one person that you can talk to for at least one time a week, you can still produce content on a like consistent basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
How long?
definitely,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. How long have I had my podcast for?
Yeah.
All right. So I've had my podcast for like I think since January. So before like it was called Get the Bag Life, it was actually Generational Waves. I kind of rebranded it because I kind of went off like on a tangent. Uh, I guess to give some backstory, like I wanted to do like e-commerce, but like I wanted to like sell like personalized art, and I guess like that wasn't like my true passion. It was a strong interest, but it wasn't a true passion, and I didn't really continue on that journey. So I went back onto like Generational Waves, which came to Get the Bag Life. And so with that older brand, I did have like 10 podcasts. I had everyone in my local like area, my local like bubble that I knew that can provide some sort of value regarding like money and entrepreneurship. And then once I ran out of the people I knew personally, I had to like get out there, go on Instagram and or TikTok and find people to talk to. And I actually really struggled with that. And yeah, it's like you're actually like the first person that I'm podcast like interviewing outside of my own personal bubble, you know. So
Oh,
I'm
really?
actually like
Awesome.
yeah, and like, I think I first messaged you on TikTok, and I was actually surprised. No, I emailed you first, and then I messaged you on TikTok, And like I was kind of surprised because you had like a large following, and I was assuming that like you were bombarded with messages. So I was like really happy like you got back to me, you know?
Yeah. Well, I saw your email, and I'm sure I told you this already, but I responded to, I just
Yeah.
clicked reply, and then it was like, this email doesn't exist. So I was like, oh, there's an opportunity
Yeah.
lost.
I was like, damn, like really messed this up. Like I had to call because I use um like for the website, which I get the email from, like the provider. I guess you have to do some extra steps to have your email verified and whatnot. So I was like, damn, I really messed this up. But then like I messaged you on TikTok, and then for some reason you didn't get the message. But then I messaged, and I went live on your TikTok, right? And then you saw
Yeah.
me there, and you're like, hey, just DM me on Instagram. And I think it was through that we actually got this interview down.
Yeah. Sorry for the
Nah, it's
road.
all right.
I
It,
do get
it was
quite
my
a few
fault.
messages,
Yeah,
but I'm glad it all worked out.
definitely. So I just want to ask like a few more questions before we close out. I don't want to spend too much of your time, your valuable time. So, like you said, you focus more on experimenting on content rather than just increasing your content. That way, you know what works, what doesn't, and you can provide value for our clients, right?
Yeah, and um, because I have to experiment to see what's working, right? I can't just be like, I think this is what you should do. No, I have
Yeah.
to kind of know. So kind of circling back to like the hate comments that I get that are like, you only have this amount of followers, or this video only got that many views. And I'm like, well, I was very strategic in how I did that. You
Mm-hmm.
know, wanted to see, like, one of my theories that I'll share is, if you have a video that performs like really well on your account, and that could be any number that's higher than your average view count. So if most of your views are 1,000 and you get a video that hits 10,000, or if most of your videos are 50,000 and you get a video that hits 200,000, my theory is, okay, repost it. You're going to want to save it to your camera roll. You can either you can save it with the watermark, or you can save it without the traditional watermark that has your username.
Mm-hmm.
It will have a little watermark at the bottom, but you click on the share button, you click on live photo, you save it as a live photo, then you go to your camera roll, and then you click save as a video. And most people won't notice it's a repost. And I say use repost as soon as you can, like ideally as soon as you can, especially if it's a trend. And then you're going
Mm-hmm.
to want to use the same hashtags that described your video. You might want to update the trending hashtags, because if it was a trending hashtag from last week, you're not going to want to use an old trending hashtag. You're going to want to use the new ones. And that's where I've seen, even on my account, a lot of reposts, not all the time, but a majority of the time, the repost performs better than the original video,
Mm-hmm.
because it was a video people liked. And I've had many people experiment that, and it's like works out well for them. Now, I got a question that was like, what if we repost a video that didn't perform well the first time? And my first kind of go-to answer is like, well, if it didn't perform well, it's not going to perform well again. Don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I have to use my account to experiment. So I chose a video on my account that did not perform that well for my account, reposted it, and it got less views than the original.
Yeah.
So now
Same
I
copy and everything. Same copy, like same hashtags.
same hashtags, except I did update the trending hashtags.
Okay. Okay.
Um, so same strategy, like use the same hashtags related to video, date trending hashtags, post it, see how it works, and it got less engagement. So that's kind of why I experiment. And if you go to my account and you see like, oh, that video like barely performed well, like, well, there's kind of a reasoning behind that.
Mm-hmm. I do have to thank you for. I think it was like the six to like 9,000 followers that I got, because I remember you said, oh, you should definitely repost a viral video that you had, right? So I had this one video initially, it was 500,000 views, and I was like, I'm gonna repost this. But to be honest, I didn't want to because I thought it was like cheating. But I did it anyway just to see like if it would work, because my follower count was just like stagnant. So I reposted the same video and I added like a different like hashtag, right? And it was the video, just to add some context, was like me talking about an asteroid that was worth like a lot of money, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in that one, in the first viral video that had 500,000 viewers, it was like a lot of like people talking about Minecraft. And I was like, oh, why didn't I think of that hashtag? So I added that hashtag in the repost, and I got double the amount of views. And ever since that, like I had a lot more engagement, and a lot more followers, I was like, oh wow, like this genuinely like does work.
Yeah.
You know?
And I think in terms of that, like, I mean, you don't want to repost every single day forever. You still want to be creating original content. But, you know, the theory is, you know, that video performed well. It brings people to your account, and then that gives them access to your other videos. Like if you have a pro account, you will notice sometimes, right, when you start to have a video go viral and you check out the analytics on your other videos, your profile viewing from your personal profile, that will increase because people saw your viral video and they came to your account and they checked out your account. So it's not necessarily that video stopped getting on the For You page. It's people from the For You page saw your viral video and they came to see more of your content.
Yeah. I always thought that to have a pro account, you need to have at least like 1,000 or 100 followers, because on Instagram, you need at least 100 followers to get that access, right? And because I was heavy on Instagram first, I always thought that it would be the same thing for TikTok. Oh, you need at least 100 followers. But I realized that you can get it like as soon as you open a TikTok account, right?
Yeah, the only thing you need is a phone number or an email. So if you have one of those, you can have a pro account. Now, under the pro account settings, there is the TikTok Creator Marketplace, which is how you can get, like, you have to qualify for that. Now, that's not because you have a pro account, but you have to have 100,000 followers, 100,000 video likes in the last 28 days. You have to have posted 3 videos in the last 28 days, and you have to be at least 18 years or older. And that's where you can like qualify to apply to join, and that's how you can get sponsorships through the app. But just to get a pro account, it's free. There's no requirement, no follow count. But to go live, you do have to have 1,000 followers. Whereas on Instagram, you can go live, I think, at any number. I don't think there's a restriction to go live on Instagram.
Not entirely sure on that. So like, just to wrap it up, I just want to ask one thing. So where can people like find you, or what's like the best platform or site that they can reach out to you and engage in your content, or just hit you up for any advice?
So yeah, so there's 2 places. The best one's my TikTok, which is the username is how to grow on TikTok. And then within that, in my TikTok, I have a link in my bio that like takes you to all my platforms. But I'm also on Instagram at Shayla Terkalas. You can also follow me on Instagram at Shayla Terkalas. So those are kind of the 2 places that are best to contact me: my TikTok and my Instagram as well.
Okay. And do you also aim to like get like LinkedIn, Twitter, just kind of get everything out there, or do you just focus on TikTok and Instagram?
Well, so I have a Twitter as well. And like I'm not experienced with LinkedIn. I don't know anything about LinkedIn, but I also like, so basically the accounts that I'm on YouTube. I'm on YouTube with my name. I have a podcast, so you can also search me in any podcast service like Apple, Spotify, all those. So
Okay.
I have YouTube, I have a podcast, I have a TikTok, I have an Instagram. I do have a Twitter. I barely use it. I have a Pinterest. That's a random thing.
Yeah.
I use actually, this is like a really important fact. Pinterest is very, very like, it's like a search engine. So I get like 46,000 monthly viewers on my
Really?
Pinterest. Yeah. And I use
Wow.
my Pinterest solely to promote my TikTok. Um,
And what do you do? Sorry, like you just so you, what do you use to like make your content? Like what's on it? Like it's really interesting.
on my Pinterest, so I have a few things. So sometimes like I'll put like snippets of my videos. Like I'll take like my best performing videos on my TikTok, and I'll put them onto my Pinterest, and I'll link my TikTok account to it, and I put the description, like the title. So I have the title and I make it like very searchable. The description, I take the title. So like an example is like how to get more views. That's the title. The description, I then go how to get more views on TikTok, get famous on TikTok, TikTok views. Like I use every describing word and just fill it in my description because it's such a search-based engine. Then I use hashtags. And then on Pinterest, after you use hashtags, you can also pick like categories that your topic is about. So I also go through and I pick all of the topics. Now Pinterest like really consumes my time, but I get, like I said, I get 46,000 monthly views on my
Mm-hmm.
Pinterest, and I'm sure a handful of those people have gone to my
Yeah.
TikTok as well. Um,
So
and
yeah.
then I also have like, since I do have my podcast, like I have recordings for my podcast. So what I do is I have my podcast, I upload the episodes onto my podcast. It gets sent out to Spotify, Apple Music, not Apple Music, Apple Podcasts, and all the
Mm-hmm.
platforms. I then make a YouTube like thumbnail for that particular podcast episode, which I then put the podcast episode onto YouTube, and then I shorten it down to like 10 to 20 seconds where I take the same thumbnail and I have like a 10 or 20-second audio from my podcast, and I put text on the screen. I post that on my Instagram, which I then post that on my Pinterest. So sorry, long answers. I'm really branching out with
Yeah.
everything.
That's
Maybe
good.
it's
Yeah, you
too
went into the
broad,
tactics
but
of it. Yeah, that's good. You went into the tactics of it. I think next time if we were to ever do like another podcast, we can definitely go into that, like really dive into like the tactics of what you just described there, of using like your pre-existing content and just distributing it to other Pinterest, TikTok, YouTube, whatever it is. So
yeah.
Shayla, it was a pleasure. Nice talking to you. I really appreciate your time, and I'm looking forward to like learning more on how to grow on TikTok. And definitely
Yeah.
gonna check out your Pinterest too. I actually want to see that.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on here. And it was awesome chatting with you. And yeah, you should check it out.
Will do.